everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of our Eminem review for Recovery, the album. My name is Holden Stephan Roy.
Whoa, you screwed up your own name.
I did.
I am your lady friend, Bonnie.
That's her name. She didn't screw it up. And this is the Classic Quest podcast, the show where we break down classic hip-hop albums like Eminem's Recovery, full album review, keyword plug. We do that. We break it down in full, track by track, going through the whole project, giving our thoughts and opinions on every song. This is part 2 of what's likely going to be a 3-part review, because there was a lot to say in the first part. It took a while, so we chopped it up at track 6. So we're going to give a little recap, right? So I was presenting my grandiose album theory, upon which Cold Wind Blows kind of follows up the whole Relapse story, which you can check out our Relapse review if you really, really want to catch up.
We got a whole bunch of Eminem if you want to check them all out.
But, like, in terms of the story, I feel like Recovery serves well as, like, a part 2, but in a different direction. And I thought it was really cool. And it actually makes me appreciate what he did with Revival a lot more, to a point where we may even take a little re-look-see at it or something, because I want to at least look at the story of it.
Okay.
So Cold Wind Blows kicks in, and it's almost like after announcing to the world he's coming back, in between, critics kind of give him a little bashing. And so Cold Wind Blows addresses kind of like he's back and he's going to be himself, but it almost seems like nobody's excited, and he's just kind of justifying, this is who I am, talking to myself. Kind of takes the entire concept of recovery, or relapse, breaks it down into a single song, and is like, well, I wrote y'all an album explaining it in freaking code. Nobody was listening, so I guess I was talking to myself. That's the short version. Then he takes shots at critics who can't rap. Fair enough, I can rap, I don't feel bad. Won't Back Down is like, I'm gonna keep going. I'm on a little bit of a rager.
Yep.
That's what it kind of feels like. He's mad, he's freaking out. And then White Trash Party, WTP, kicks in. It feels like he's really just going at it, but it almost feels like it's a
He's having fun again, a little bit.
And it almost feels like this is like a parallel to like a period in his life where maybe he's kind of fallen off the wagon again or something, and it kind of elicits that. Then you get to this Going Through Changes track, which is where we were just at, where it's like all of a sudden he comes to grips with like his real emotions, and he can't keep doing the same stuff that he was previously doing. And I guess that would be like the short version of what the album's story has been so far. And we just need to say one more time, WTP is a fantastic track, and if you have not heard it, you absolutely need to hear it. It is fly, in my opinion. Now that that's done, why don't we talk about the song that many people probably like were inspired by at one point in their life, and got a lot of us to stand up to our demons and say, I'm not afraid. I mean, I'm certain Bonnie has stuff to say about this track, but like, I mean, I remember when this dropped. I remember that like feeling of like, wow, he's back. Or it's gonna be, maybe it's different, whatever. But it wasn't that. It was like, it was just such a strong song, right? And you listen to it. This was, I believe, the lead single off this project. The whole Relapse project had just come out. Everyone felt kind of weird about it. Let's be honest, I felt kind of weird about it. And then you got this, and it was such an honest and like breakdown of whatever, when you get like albums from like, from Infinite down to the last Relapse album is still shit, and you get this whole sense of like accomplishments and that chorus and everything. But it was just, I'm just curious to all y'all watching, if you remember that moment of when this came out, and if y'all also had this like holy shit like moment, like this song just hit so hard and connected so well. Like, I know a lot of people that to this day will say this is their absolute favorite Eminem song, and the way it hit them and inspired them is just really, 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 really profound. So I don't know, I was curious if y'all had a similar kind of reaction. But yeah, how do you feel about Not Afraid?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I think that this was the very first time I've ever listened to this song, when I was like, reviewing this.
Wait, you've never heard it before?
I don't think so.
Whoa.
Like, I mean, maybe I've heard it before. Like, maybe it was in like a movie or something, but like I'm not remembering it, or like maybe I've heard it before. But it's to my knowledge that I can think of, I don't think I know this song. But anyways, So he is letting everyone know that he is not afraid, specifically to take control of himself and to encourage others to do the same thing. And he's letting everyone know that he's with you and that you're not alone. And if you're not alone, then neither is M. And so he feels that there's like a togetherness for everybody that's kind of going through a struggle together or has gone through it and, can relate to what he's going through and whatever, just like in terms of, just addiction and things like that. So it's definitely like a community and they're all in this together. And he is going to fulfill his destiny and achieve his dreams, and there's nothing that's going to stop him really. So it is an uplifting and like inspirational song, for a lot of people, and he's very honest in it, which is good. You always want honesty. And he is basically saying he's learned from his mistakes and, he's learned, what to do from past albums and maybe how people reacted and, things like that. But he is still going and he is still going to, keep on trying. And he got clean and he knew that he could do better. And that's why he made the decision to, clean himself up. So it is a very, very good beat. It's well wrapped. It's an honest, true message and lesson at the same time, and it's relatable to a lot of people who have gone through maybe some like bad situations, involved in like addiction or whatever else. So I give this a 4.5 on 5.
I mean, this song brings a lot to the table. It's a pop song, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like we're talking the kind of pop song where like my mom probably likes this as like a fun Eminem song that she'll put on.
Mm-hmm.
It's got like real wordplay going on. Like just to give you an example, like he's married to the game. Like a fuck you for Christmas, his gift is a curse. Which is interesting, right? Because that almost references some old shit when he kind of brings up that, I don't remember what album it's on. But then the idea of like a fuck you for Christmas. If you got that for Christmas, that gift is a curse. It's literally a curse. It's fucking swearing.
Yep.
But it would also be like a shitty gift. And in that way, it's a curse. But also, his gift is a curse. Forget the earth. He's got an urge to pull his dick from the dirt. So as in like pick himself up, I mean he's gonna fuck the whole universe because he's bigger than the earth.
Yep.
I'm just like, I don't think I really caught that bar caught how clever this was, because it's only really recently I've started to understand. I'm not gonna lie, that Bodied movie really did a lot to explain how to analyze some of these lyrics. So thanks, Coney Sparks. And I don't know that I would have caught how brilliant some of the writing is. I mean, I caught it, but I'm catching it faster now is what I feel like. And I think that's some of the brilliance of Eminem is on top of telling you just like the global like narrative is that when you really take the time to like break down, you're often rewarded with some level of, oh, that's clever. When you do get through it, although I have to admit in some of the tracks it's like, oh, those poop jokes are clever. And it's a little bit sometimes whatever.
He plays with words with all different topics.
I think this is pretty fresh. This is all good. And with the exception in this track of the albums, there's nothing that dates this song. You can listen to this song to this very fucking day. And the only thing that makes it sound dated in any way from a lyrical perspective is that My Last Relapse album, it's not his last album anymore. Mm-hmm. That's it. Otherwise, it's just this honest and amazing track. Like verse 1. This the way he starts it. Like, you can try and read my lyrics off of this paper before I lay them, but you won't take the sting out these words before I say them. So it's like the words aren't, it's everything. Like, it's more than just words on a paper, you know? Right. And then it proceeds to go on to, like, how he's going to come back and take over regardless of what the world thinks, you know? And all those who look down on me, I'm tearing down your balcony. Get it? Because it's a balcony. No ifs, ands, or buts. Don't try to ask him why or how can he. You know, it's almost like, well, I did all this. You know what the fuck is up as he lists the next albums. Anyway, so he's going to come kill it.
Yep.
Though he does say whether he's on salary, paid hourly, and you're like, bruh, you're not on either. You're on like fucking next level commission residual shit, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then you get the whole fuck the whole universe, and then that chorus when it kicks in, because in the beginning it kind of has the soft version, and then it just kicks in. You're like, I'm not afraid, but you've already been conditioned, so you're actually able to sing along because you started the song with it, and you just do. And then it's got the callback thing, and then he's got like just that part where it's like, we'll walk this road together through the storm, whatever weather, cold or warm, just letting you know that you're not alone. Holla if you feel like you've been down the same road. I don't know about y'all watching this, but I've been down a road or two kind of like that, and I've felt a lot of the things Eminem has projected in his isolations and negativity and why he feels those things. Like, I can kind of relate to a lot of Eminem's life. Not all of it, but a lot of it. Like, I'm not like a full-blown drug addict as an example, so on that part, but I would lie if I would just say I don't have an addictive personality. I mean, you can't create this many videos if you're not addicted. Addiction is very prominent in my life, you know, so hearing a track like this is crazy. And just to have a guy like Eminem be like, I'm here, I'm gonna walk with you down this, and then come in with like the next verse, you know, okay, quit playing with the scissors and shit and cut the crap. So, you know, instead of playing with the scissors, use them to cut the crap, as in stop lying. I shouldn't have to rhyme these words in a rhythm for you to know it's a rap. And that line always was weird to me, because I'm like, but you're supposed to rhyme them in a rhythm. That's your fucking job. But you're right. It's a rap, as in, you know, it's over or whatever. Yeah. Come on, dude. You said you was king. You lied through your teeth. For that, fuck your feelings. Instead of getting crowned, you're getting capped. And forever, I thought he was targeting somebody. And then I realized he's probably talking about himself. And throughout all of this moment, right, this whole thing is kind of addressing himself. Like, I had to stop lying to myself. King Mathers was supposed to be the album before Relapse or whatever, right?
Yeah, I remember
you said
that.
you was king. You lied through your teeth, because probably the album was trash.
Right.
I don't know if it was trash. Fuck that. You know, for that, fuck your feelings. Instead of getting crowned, you're getting capped. And, you know, drug overdoses and shit. And to the fans, I'll never let you down again. I'm back. I promise to never go back on this promise, kamikaze. In fact, let's be honest, that was a little funny to me, because honestly, kamikaze just seems a little petulant. I don't know, maybe you guys love it. Some of my modern Eminem opinions aren't popular with every one of the Eminem fans, but he's right. He never went back on that promise in the context of drug addiction and shit, so I want to take it back and say in the seriousness of the song that it's legit, okay? He didn't go back on that promise, and he recently did his like 10 years sober or something. So like, honestly, big respect to Eminem's sobriety, and it's not a laughing matter. Okay, see, I chastise myself. But then he goes, in fact, let's be honest, that last Relapse CD was in perhaps a random accents into the ground. Relax, I ain't going back to that now. And honestly, it was at that lyric where I think a lot of us was like, thanks, Em. We really needed you to say that to us. Like, we needed that. I don't know about you, but I remember having conversations about this shit, okay? Like, this song was really profound. And then to follow it up with something I believe Bonnie likes, I'm saying is that get back, click, clack, blow.
Yeah, that was definitely the best part of the song.
I don't agree with that. Anyway, and then it just pulls out, and the rest of the verses, he's just like back, right? And then there's that bridge where he gets into singy Eminem. And I believe this may be where he lost a lot of people in this drop who wanted the hardcore shit. And I just can't keep living this way. And it like really just has that singiness to it. So starting today, I'm breaking out this cage. And then his whiny singy voice, where I like it. I really, really do. I'm standing up. I'm going to face my demons. I'm manning up. I'm going to hold my ground. I've had enough. Now I'm so fed up. Time to put my life back together right now. And you're like, damn. That's honestly like profound, mature. And when you're a person, when you look at somebody who may have done a lot of, let's say, wild things and dangerous things to themselves, and then they proceed to go, I gotta get my shit together and I'm gonna fucking do it, I think it means a lot to everybody. And that was pretty fresh. I really respected that. And then there's that third verse where I feel like he takes everything he's done and emotionally just the beat changes and shit, and he almost like gets real serious. It was my decision to get clean. I did it for me. Admittedly, I probably did it subliminally for you. And you know, you hear that and it's like, damn, that's actually what you can tell. He's like fucking serious. So I could come back a brand new me. You help see me through, and you don't even realize what you did. Believe me, you know. And the fact that he's taking the opportunity to like thank all the fans who gave him like a reason to fight back and shit, you know. He's been through the ringer, but they can do little to the middle finger. I think I got anyway. The rest of the song flows out as he like swears to be like the best he's gonna be, and then it kind of ends on one of I think the coolest lines. Cause the way I feel, I'm strong enough to go to the club or the corner pub and lift the whole liquor counter up, cause I'm raising the bar. And that implies in the double entendre that he can go to these places where alcohol and things are going to be present and be stronger and above it because he's raising the bar of his life and both the quality of his music and stuffs. And I thought that was pretty cool. I thought like ultimately this track is pretty phenomenal. When I first re-reviewed it, I gave it a 4.5. But then nostalgia's now kicked in, and I have to give this a 5. I think this song really resonates in a really deep and visceral emotional way, where maybe you have to have related to it in a direct way, but this song is honestly an anthem for people who kind of on a road to recovery of some kind. I think this may be like the pinnacle moment of like this album. And then after he's not afraid to come back in, because the story does continue. We start, which I had referenced earlier, his love affair with hip-hop, which is going to become like the predominant theme for the rest of the album. And he's going to start to imply the arts of seduction.
That's right, folks.
On the lady of hip-hop. How do you feel about seduction?
I feel like it's a different sort of Eminem beat, like something different that we wouldn't normally hear from him. And you know, again, it's the same sort of thing. Not giving up. He's gonna make it through. And that the fact that he still gets girls, can basically get any girl. He doesn't really have to try. He just can be like, I'm Eminem, and somebody's gonna want to sleep with him. So he's basically saying that he gets all of these girls and he barely tries because groupies want to bang him regardless. And I feel like that's what all I got out of this one. This is probably my least favorite song on the album. I really didn't like this one. I didn't connect with it. I didn't find anything about it like standout worthy. I gave this a 3.75.
I mean, I think on the one hand, this is a really amazing song in his catalog because I don't think there's a whole lot that actually sounds like this in his catalog.
Mm-hmm. And that's definitely
for
something.
A guy like Eminem, I mean, not to say that he's not versatile and can't do a whole lot of stuff, but like, it's not often you're hit with something so out there that you're like, okay, what the fuck? Which is kind of your experience the first time you hear this, especially because maybe as we've established, he's no longer with Kim. Perhaps he just wasn't single and able to be smashing a bunch of groupies to be in a position. And I know Eminem there's a couple of girls, if you look for the groupie stories, that have professed to have fornicated with Eminem, and he's a perfect gentleman every time, is what I've heard. He's quite, from what I can tell, he's up there with the guys you'd want to sleep with if you were that variety, because he's like really classy and respectful and shit.
Yeah. I've heard from like people like I've seen on like other people who've met him or encountered him or dealt with him from like whatever else on YouTube and stuff. So, and they all say great things.
But basically, you look at this song and it's like you got the Sly Jordan thing going, like a verbal seduction when I tell him girls on the star. And I think you're supposed to be kind of distracted by the girls in this song. I think, yes, he's trying to say line for line, all things considered, and I think it's responding to the stereotype of how rappers are going to fuck your girlfriend. And Eminem is laying down, what are you saying? I'm fucking Eminem. I'm going to come in and take your girl. But then let's look at it in the perspective of your girl is the attention of people when it comes to this music hip-hop game. And in a sense, this whole song is battle rap at the rest of the game. And it's saying, because think about it, it's targeting a person, right? It's, I'm going to take your girl, the whole song. It's not like, and you got to think about it. Eminem hasn't been in the game. Other people are considered on top at this point, etc. And I think Eminem's kind of back, and then he's established that, and then he's coming in with something crazy new, like slapping the fuck out of people by proving with some like eloquence his skill.
Yep.
And because honestly, I Want to Fuck Your Girl songs are often very boring, but like it starts off with like I feel like I'm morphing into something that's so incredible, and that morphine can be like homophone to morphine, and this song is wavy like a drug trip like that, right?
I agree.
That I'm dwarfing all competitors, but to get your girlfriend in check, it's psychological warfare. Endorphins are effect, and so he's kind of playing mind games with everyone, like writing a diss song at the industry, metaphorically using it's a mind game. It's a subtle thing. That's how I perceive that. And that's kind of his approach. He's very tactful, and he's got a lot of money behind him from market research and shit, and he really is tactfully going to come in, and I believe he swept the Grammys and everything. Your self-esteem shatters as dialect comes blasting out your deck. She loves me, such passion you'd expect. The sort of reaction from her, yet you strong-arm. You're fucking corny. You try to turn your charm on. And I think that's him kind of showing how people maybe take advantage of what hip-hop is and try to be cheap with it and cheapen the art form with stuff like maybe auto-tune and reliance on stuff, and that's what he's trying to kind of allude on. So you're whack by comparison, because you think you're Bishop the Don Juan, but if you think you're fucking with me, homie, you're on one. So if you like look at it, a good like modern example that Bunny probably wouldn't know what I'm talking about would be like maybe the J. Cole Lil Pump situation. Maybe they didn't handle it the same way, but the way like Lil Pump is jumping on this fuck J. Cole shit, I'm the shit, etc., etc. Whereas like bar for bar, J. Cole's clearly the more talented MC. This isn't commenting on J. Cole's reaction or anything like that, but it's more like you got to imagine that Eminem's probably also getting hated on by a lot of people. You ain't this, you ain't that. And so he's kind of reminding everybody, y'all think you're something. To me, you're just corny, you know?
Yep.
Your boys are like, she's fucking with dudes, she wants some. Homeboy, you better get a clue. She's on my dick because I spit better than you, right? So if you think about that line, spit would be like maybe spit on the pussy, whatever, it gets all in. But really, it's hip-hop loves me. People love my shit because I'm a better fucking rapper than you.
Yep.
What do you expect her to do? How you expect her to act in the sack when she's closing her eyes, fantasizing and digging her nails into my back to this track? And then he's pointing out, like, when people hear this track, they're gonna, and it's kind of got a sex vibe. I could see how in his mind, like, people would have literally wanted to fuck to this track. Maybe you don't. That's okay. And then he comes in with the seduction, seduce. Ain't nobody who's as good as what I do. And he's like really breaking it down how like he's the shit. And then I think the second verse is what kind of uncracked it for me. And it's always been one of the best flosses I think I've ever heard a rapper drop. Like I've never heard a rapper drop something like this when trying to impress a lady. She's sitting there getting liquored up at the bar. She says it's quicker to count the things that ain't wrong with you than to count the things that are. And so if you think about the way people criticize a lot of rappers, you could say that's a way certain heads will describe certain MCs. And then there's a 7-disc CD changer in her car, and I'm in every single slot.
Yeah.
And you're not. I'm the logo on the Dallas Cowboys helmet, a star. And I'm like, because remember back when cars had multiple slots? I do remember those cars.
Yeah.
And you would go in the back and put them in. And the fact is, as of Recovery, it's his 7th album. And you're like, shit, eh? That's a flex. Like, all those other rappers, money's this, that, that's not a flex. This is a flex.
That's very true. Very true.
And I'm
it is a great line.
It is impeccable. It is the best, and that's why he's going to steal your girl, because your girlfriend's my fucking fan, unlike everyone else. And it's not often that anybody can, like, pretty much go and say, your girlfriend likes my music. But Eminem can probably say that to a lot of people, and it's true,
Yep.
And I'm certain Wayne could say that to a lot of people, but I think Eminem might have a bigger reach on that one. Anyway, and just keep rhyming one syllable. Nah, switch it up, then watch them haters not. And he kind of fucks up his flow a bit, but not like crazy. He just has fun with it because they're not good enough. But I'm not giving up till I get my respect, and I won't stop till I get enough because I'm not living up to my own expectations. That hater alarm is sound enough. And I thought it was interesting, right? How he like kind of says, nah, whatever, I'm gonna step up, I'm gonna bring it to new levels because fuck your expectations, my expectations require it. This is about me again. And then I kind of like how he just like ends it with, "It's your bitch on my dick, ain't my dang fault, man. I can call it, and I can't call it seduction. It's because it's like almost too easy." And I guess it's true. If there was a person alive today, greatest of my lifetime. I don't like the phrase of all time. The greatest of my lifetime thus far, up until the future comes, would be Eminem as far as MCs go. And I say that
Yeah.
not to be a stan, but he's got a lot of elements that even better. There are some dudes who can lyricist him, but then they lack elements like the songs and the compositions. Like a good example is K Reno. Honestly, bar for bar is fucking interesting. He might not be as graphic or violent, but dude can make a diverse. Like he released like 46 tracks this year and like a 4-piece album. And
Yeah, he never stops.
but I went through them all. And like there were no two songs that were about the same thing, and you can't say many people can pull that off. I think Eminem and K Reno are like two of a few MCs that are like that versatile in terms of being able to be this lyrical and dense with the puns, but also to make it like every single track is alive. I'm certain, depending on you, most people would think Eminem is better, but if you haven't heard him, give K Reno a chance, because dude, if you're just into lyrics and whatnot, it's pretty fresh. But still, Eminem, if we're playing lyrical tug-of-war with your ear, you hear it, girl, come here. Put your ear up to the speaker, dear, while I freak this world premiere. Seducing her, loosen up. And that's when I'm like, nah, this isn't really about a girl, is it? Like, this, Eminem wouldn't be so blunt, you know? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. His whole song is, like, shitting on other rappers, and he's just kind of taking the spot, because the girl is hip-hop, like I said. Otherwise, I don't know if there's any other like other lyrics out there, but I do like the maybe prick, you're feeling that bullshit. You think you killing them syllables, quit playing these beats that ain't nothing to fool with. And that just reminded me of that song Syllables with like Eminem and Jay-Z and all them. I don't know if y'all remember that. When we get to our extra Eminem songs part of after we're done the studio albums, we'll include that one in there and we'll talk about it then, I guess. But what y'all think about Syllables? It is not about a hot beat or whatever. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you know the song. Anyway, I am the opposite of what you are like. You're a microcosm of what the fuck I am on the mic. It's like it's interesting. It's definitely about other rappers. So I think it's cool. And once I realized what the track was about, and I realized that it was pretty clever, and if you think about it, after not being afraid, what are you supposed to do? Get back into the competitive sport of hip-hop and murk some motherfuckers.
Yeah, I guess
and
so.
And he absolutely accomplishes that with Seduction. And he does it in a new way where, well, by new I mean, like I said, different than most of his catalog. And then, just to prove that Eminem is like on top of shit, he goes ahead, swallows his ego, and invites a guy that people are saying at this time is a better rapper than him onto a track. Let's talk about No Love. The next time I go and perform at a hip-hop karaoke, there's a high chance that I'm performing this very song, because it is absolutely motherfucking fresh. First of all, there ain't a white person in North America that ain't into the Night at the Roxbury and the whatever the Hathaway song's actually called, you know.
What is love?
What is love? And you know, you got every one of us knows this shit.
Yep.
I don't know. I haven't even seen the movie, but I still know
Really?
this shit. Yeah, I don't care.
Oh, that's going on the list.
Probably not. This list is big. Albums. Tell her we need to review more albums.
Sometimes we get to watch a movie.
Somebody's gonna like sign up and be like, "Night at the Roxbury." But yeah, what do you think about this track?
Well, right away, like I like the transition from the last song onto this one in like terms of like the album composition. I really like the use, obviously we talked about it now, of What Is Love, and it's and at the beginning we have like the classic like lighter sound, which is, you know, I feel like a typical sound, you know, Lil Wayne, he's gonna smoke up, he's gonna sing a song, he's gonna do what he does, and Lil Wayne's verse is fine. I didn't think that it was like the best I've ever heard of his, but I did like what he was saying, and I'm just trying to like see if there was like anything that like really stood out to me right now.
I
But
don't even know how to. I'll go through the verse. Don't worry.
okay, you do that. I liked Eminem's verse much better. But Wayne's verse is good. Like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just that, like, it didn't, like, nothing, like,
This
is
is
memorable
why
to me.
Mr. Carter says shit like, "Put a dick in their mouth." Yeah, fuck what they say. Okay, because people say this type of stuff. Hater.
I'm not. I like Lil Wayne.
I
I
know.
really
I'm
do.
just being a shit.
But yeah, anyways, so I found, like, Eminem's verse was, like, you know, he did a great job, and it was harder. And, you know, about how, you know, he's been through shit. And like the music industry is hard, but they're keeping on, and you know, so I think it is about, you know, if you're going to continue like what, you know, your story is all about. So I think that it's probably going to be about the music industry and dealing with that. So I feel like M really spits hard on this one. Like, I feel like he's just like pissed off, and I think he was also trying to show off a little bit and be a little bit better than Lil Wayne.
I don't know. I'm gonna respond to that after.
I don't know if it's just in general, but I feel like, anyways, he does a very good job. And he's basically saying, you know, like, for those who who didn't support him in his darkest times, he doesn't want their love now. Fuck the haters. And that's just kind of what I got out of it. I thought this was a pretty nice song. I really love the mixing and like the beat and how it all kind of like comes together, as I am, again, a white person. And I did own that cassette of Night at the Roxbury. So I gave this a 4.4 on 5.
Okay, so first of all, let's respond to that. Eminem and Lil Wayne's better. They're doing apples and oranges on this track.
Yeah.
I don't even think we can call like one better than the other because of that. Because they're stylistically being very different.
Yes.
And let's be real. If Lil Wayne was chopping, which is kind of what Eminem's doing, the fast complex flows, it wouldn't be like quite as good because it's not really like a Wayne move. I mean, I'm certain he can do it, but it would be like it would be like a Tech 9 song, which if you like Tech 9 is really cool. But I think the contrast here is what makes this stands out, right? Because you don't really know it's coming. I remember when this dropped as a single, or probably I had the album at this point, or I don't remember. But this was the first Lil Wayne verse, second Lil Wayne verse. It was this or Drop the World. I don't remember which came out first, where I was like ensnared with Wayne. And I had a theory when I was young that M wrote Wayne's verse because it just seemed better than all the other Wayne verses. Then I reviewed Wayne's albums and I said, oh fuck, Wayne's actually pretty good like this. But I love it. Like right off the beginning of Wayne's verse, throw dirt on me and grow a wild flower. Look at that, man. You throw dirt on him, the world's gonna shit on him. Fuck that. He's gonna grow and make something out of it. Yep. Inspirational. But it's fuck the world. You get a child out of her. Fair enough, man. When you fuck a girl, you get a child sometimes, and when you fuck the world, that's kind of what happens. Yeah, my life a bitch, you know nothing about her. Been to hell and back, I can show you vouchers. And that's fine. He's just kind of pointing out the context that his life has not been easy. I'm rolling sweets. I'm smoking sour. Married to the game, but she broke her vows. Alright? So that's a weed line because, you know, rolling sweets, I believe, is a reference to one of the cigar brands. Smoking sour, like loud-ass weed. Dank shit, as they say. Married to the game, but she broke her vows. Oh, see, the whole core of this whole women part being hip-hop. Well, that's true, because Wayne was going through his own version of this shit at this time where people were starting to like turn on him as his ascent was getting weird. Yep. That's why my bars are full of broken bottles. So his bars, as in his lyrics, are full of intoxication and broken, shattered shit. But literally his bars...
Also a bar.
And my nightstands are full of open Bibles. Redemption and shit. Anyway, it's pretty cool. And then he flows on with some stuff. I'm not going to go through the middle part. It's pretty cool. But then he does get to... be good or be good at it.
Yep.
It's like you have to be a good person, as in noble and proper, or you better be fucking proper, right? Because you have to be the best if you're not going to be a goody two-shoes. And I agree with that. You cannot be like in this life if you're not willing. When I say this life, I mean non-mediocrity. You want to compete with the big boys, you got to be fucking fantastic because the big boys will knock you the fuck out. Then he goes, fucking right, I got my gun, semi-Carter-matic, get it? Because it's his gun, and it's... Anyway,
automatic, yeah.
Put a dick in their muscle, I guess it's fuck what they say. Fantastic line. I'm high as a bitch, up and away, he'll come down in a couple of days. Okay, you want me up in the cage, then I'll come. It's just the way he fucks with the flow like that, it's so good. got the world. Anyway, his verse is fine. I really think it's more about the flow, his delivery, the passion in his voice. Like, you feel it. You really feel his verse. Then whiny Eminem singing on the chorus, it's a little too late. Like, he's in that voice. I fucking love it. You kicked me. Anyway, you were right about the chorus. There's nothing to go on there.
Yep.
But allow me to be abundantly clear.
Okay, do
we
it.
had gotten forever. And if you remember when we talked about that, if you watched our review, it was like the first time we had a fast Eminem verse. And then again, I don't remember if this or Drop the World came first, but one of those came and it's fast first. And then you got this verse where it's like, flow wise, I'm alive again, more alive than I have been in my whole entire life. I can see these people's ears perk up as I begin to spaz with the pen. I'm a little bit sicker than most shit's finna get thick again. They say the competition is stiff, but I get a hot dick from the shit nest. And I'm like, and like, I mean, if I practice it, I could probably do it better. I know I fucked up a couple times, but it was more to illustrate the point that, what the fuck? And he just goes in, like,
Yep.
He just goes faster than that. He goes in and kills it. Like it's an adrenaline rush to feel the bass thump from the place on the way to the pocket, and I'm just like, it took me ages as a youth to be able to say it's an adrenaline rush that fast. Like, blew my mind when I heard this track. And on top of kind of just being ridiculously rhythmically complex, it's just full of fucking bars, as in interesting things when you think about it. Like, they call me a freak because I like to spit on these pussies for I eat them. So that would be like when you're performing cunnilingus and you want to give a little spit just to like dilute the flavor a little bit.
Is that what it is?
I know in my anecdotal experience, spit on the pussy, if it tastes a little funny, it doesn't taste quite as bad. That's all I'm trying to say. And then you gotta eat that shit because you're a little bit of a freak. But then it's also talking about how he raps better than other rappers. Then, man, get these whack cocksuckers off stage. Where the fuck is Kanye when you need him? And that bar, thanks to the genius person, is really interesting because when they performed the track Forever at the Grammys, Kanye was not present. And then in the next line, snatched a mic from him. Bitch, I'm gonna let you finish in a minute. Yeah, the rap was tight. And that's in a reference to Kanye snatching Taylor Swift's mic at the things. Remember? That had just happened.
Of course.
And yeah, that was, gosh, music history is awesome. And then he's about to spit the greatest verse of all time, so you might want to go to back to the lab tonight and scribble out the rhymes you were gonna spit and start over from scratch and write new ones. It's like, listen, I'm gonna go rap, so fuck your shit. There's no point. You're done. And then he just goes in. Some other classics is like, cold-hearted from the day I bogarted the game. My soul started to rot, fellow. So, from the day he came in, he started to get more corrupt and whatever. And yeah, I'm not even in my harshest. You can still get roasted because Marsh is not mellow. I'm like, did he just make a fucking marshmallow bar about destroying you?
With his own name?
Yeah, and he did. He did it quite well. And it was amazing. And then, I'm toppling from the top. I'm not going to stop. I'm standing on my Monopoly board. That means I'm on top of my game. You're like, he's right. That is exactly what that means.
Yep.
And it don't stop till my hip don't hop anymore. 2018, dropped an album. Oh, he's still hip hopping. Got it. Yeah, I'm with that. Anyway, I think this song blew my fucking mind when I was younger. And I can't say I've listened to it as much as WTP, but it's right up there. I don't think I've stopped listening to this track since it came out, and I think it's quite incredible. It's had quite the lifespan in my music catalog, and if you don't love this song, I don't understand it, but I respect your right to disagree with me. Anyway, now that as far as the story goes, I mean, he seduced the game, but the game gave him back no love. It doesn't actually, this part of the story is not so deep. Once you realize what's going on here, it's kind of, oh, yeah, that's what happened. But after the game gave him no love, we understand what Eminem's love life has been like over the course of these 7 albums. So we're quite aware that if you don't give Eminem love, he's addicted to that shit. And the truth is, we're going to explore some more love stuff in Spacebound.
All right.
The one problem I'm facing listening to Spacebound in 2019 is it's been about 5 years since I've been in the right mind frame to listen to Spacebound. This is a song for the brokenhearted. It's a silent prayer for the faith, or I don't actually know the next line of that song, but this is what this is, man. It's like, if your heart is smashed and this song comes on and you're like me and you can also relate to, Love the Way You Lie, and you understand turbulent shit, and you're a little bit of a fallen romantic, And then it's all crazy when you hear like this track, and it's just from the beginning, man. We touch, I feel a rush. We clutch, it isn't much, but it's enough to make me wonder what's in store for us. It's like instantly, we got trickiness to it. So from a flow perspective, I really enjoy this. The beats, whatever, it's nice and airy and it's kind of spacey. But man, it's lust, it's torturous. You must be a sorceress because you just did the impossible. Game my trust, don't play games that'll be dangerous. Man, it's like he took the words out of my mouth whenever I'm falling in love with a girl right here. Like, anytime. To be clear, it's because I've been in a committed, loving relationship for like a half a decade with somebody who has new, beautiful hair. Um, she's wonderful. But, like, it does make it a little hard to be in the same, like, frame of mind. Because, when I first heard Spacebound, I'm heartbroken. I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
And so when you get to lines like, and love is evil, spell it backwards, I'll show you. And he says evil. He doesn't say evil. Mm-hmm. But you're like, okay, Eminem. Officially, that is the corniest lyric in his entire catalog. He has nothing cornier than that lyric. But you know what? Do you know how much I love it? Do you know how many times I have been like, love is evil, spell it backwards, I'll show you. Nobody knows me, I'm cold. Walk down this road all alone. As I'm ill in my own little world. And awful. I know this track by heart. I'm not even gonna lie. But yeah, like, don't ask me why I have no love for these motherfucking hoes. Blood-sucking succubuses. What the And, like, honestly, the rhyming is on point. It's immaculate. Everything syllable for syllable matches. But it's also, like, this crazy fucking super emotional song breaking down the turbulent motions of, A, sucking at being in relationships, mm-hmm. and B, not wanting to fall in love while falling in love and shit. And then, you get you take my breath away. You're a supernova. And I'm a space bound. And then the chorus kicks in and you're like, oh, Eminem, you and your little link into the chorus corny shits here. And then you get that, like, second verse. The relationship's in. You're an obsessive type. You're willing to do whatever. I'll do whatever it takes. When I'm with you, I get the shakes. And, he goes through it. My body aches. When I ain't with you, I have zero strength. And, like, if you've ever really been infatuated to that level of this person's your whole world, that's kind of what it's like, when you're with them. You're in love, you're enlightened, everything's ready to go. When you're gone, you're sitting there going, I can't believe she's at her mom's house for 3 days in Easter and her cats are fucking harassing me. Oh, that was a couple days ago. No,
Thanksgiving, not Easter.
Okay, thanks for that. No, but like when you're gone and it's like, damn, I feel like a part of me is missing. Now, if you're in an immature version of that relationship, it can be quite disastrous. I know I have literally sat there and given up entire days staring at my phone, hoping somebody would like text me, and then when they're with me, I feel like there was one girl I dated where I swear my entire life was her life. Like, I didn't have a life outside of her and shit, you get so into it. And then it flips the idea, like, why do we say that until we get that person that we think's gonna be that one, and then once we get him, it's never the same. You want them when they don't want you. Soon as they do, feelings change. And then you're like, damn, that's also super fucking honest, right? Like, if you're in that infatuation world, you often have no idea that the girl likes you as you're busy chasing other girls and then all that other crap. It's kind of twisted. Most of us who think that nobody loves us or wants to play with our peepees has a girl that wants to play with your peepee, and you're too dense to see her, probably because you want a supermodel. And that's usually how that shit works.
Yep.
And then one of my favorite lyrics on the album is, it's not a contest, and I ain't on no conquest for no mate. I wasn't looking when I stumbled onto you. Must have been fate. But so much is at stake. What the fuck does it take? Let's cut to the chase before the door shuts in your face. Promise me if I cave in and break and leave myself open that I won't be making a mistake. Kazama. And then what he's saying there is, I've now laid down all the bullshit in my past to you. Yep. And I don't want to do this. I don't think it's there. But unfortunately, I'm not trying to date you. And I don't want this because of my past. And it's scary and it's awful. And if I happen to let you in, don't make it a mistake. And sometimes if you let them in, they stick around for half a decade. Sometimes they don't. I'll give you that. But sometimes they do. In Eminem's case, after a year and 6 months, it's no longer me that you want, but I love you so much it hurts, never mistreated you once. I don't know. That line doesn't seem like it's that. Everything else about this does it, like, let's talk about this from the perspective of being towards a woman. It's a little bit non-believable that Eminem never mistreated her once. It's just a little non.
Well,
But if we talk about hip-hop, yeah, that's true. If we take this whole thing and put it into the perspective of, like, hip-hop or how people treat his albums and shit,
okay.
I don't know. I see this as a love song because I've related to it like that. And this whole idea of, like, how the album kind of crafts a bigger narrative. And
Well,
this
it
is,
could be both. I mean, I think that it's definitely both.
and I think it's definitely both. And I do think this one might be a little bit more about, say, like Kim or women in general, and actually be more in touch, because this does sound like sincere Eminem in this regards.
Yeah.
But it also kind of sounds like it could be like after hip hop gives you no love and you're going through that turbulent relationship with it, you end up snapping, you know? And this last verse, I've got like whole choreographs and shit to it. Like if I ever perform this live, I'll tell you how it goes. So I pour down my heart out to you. Let down my heart, swear to God. I'll blow my fucking brains in your lap and die in your arms. I don't want to go there yet because you're kind of there, and you know you're like really into it, and you're like freaking out, and you're building up. You won't even then you drop to my knees and I'm pleading. At this point, you're supposed to drop to your knees if you're performing this. I'm trying to stop you from leaving. You won't even listen, so fuck it. I'm trying to stop you from breathing. I'll put both hands on your throat, sit on top of you, squeezing. I mean, it's kind of violent. It's not about you. So I snap your neck like a popsicle. Say, ain't no possible reason I can think of to let you just walk out this house and let you live. And he's now basically strangling the chick and freaking out like, oh, you don't fucking love me, whatever. Typical Eminem. I can tears stream down both of my drinks. Now I let you go and just give. And you're like, whoa, he just let her go. He's not actually gonna kill her. And before I put that gun to my temple, I told you this. And then you hear a pop, and I can fall on command. And if I'm performing this live, I'm fucking putting a gun to my head, popping it, dropping to the ground, and doing the bridge on the fucking floor. I'm not even playing. That's how you fucking perform, people. If you can do that without looking stupid, it's ill. I know how to fall on command. Then that chorus where I really think he's singing a hip hop, who, in a sense, the critics, all these people have turned their back on him in a sense. And I would have done anything for you to show you how much I adored you, but it's over now. It's too late to save our love. Just promise me you'll think of me every time you look up in the sky and see a star, 'cause I'm a... And then it flows into the hook one last time. So it could be about any relationship.
Yep.
Like literally any relationship. But it could also be about Eminem's love for critics and shit. And he has never loved them since. If not that he ever loved them.
Fair.
But I mean, I do think his relationship with hip hop's not really been the same.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't think he's felt like he belongs quite like he used to after this. And I don't know. Either way, this song, if you're pining over a lady, if you're feeling a little heartbroken, to me, it's one of the best. You can't cry to a girl better than Spacebound. And I mean, there's probably a few better ones out there. But this is high up on my list. It's 5 on 5.
All right. So yeah, I mean, it's, talking about, falling for, a lady and how dangerous it can be for him to open up and trust. And he, he's kind of professes that he's no good with women, and, he doesn't like when they toy with his emotions, and that seems to be what happens. And I really wasn't a fan of the chorus. The Steve McEwen or whoever was singing, wasn't for me. That's okay. You can close your mouth. So when the relationship stops being great, and she starts liking him less, and he loves her more, just because he's trying to like cling on to her and hold on to her and not let her slip out of his grasp. And then she's about to leave, and he like really just can't deal with that. So he goes to strangle her, and then he shoots himself in the head, and that's kind of how it seems to be. He kills her, and then he kills himself.
No, he lets her go.
Does he let her go? I thought that he... Okay.
And then he goes, tears damage down both of my cheeks. Now I let you go and just give.
Okay.
And before I put that gun to my temple, I told you this.
See, I still, I don't know. I suppose it could be or it couldn't be, because it sounds like he just, lets her go, after strangling her.
Well, he's
But I
strangling
don't.
her, and I feel like he's on the verge of killing her, and your
Right.
expectation is, and then, or maybe he does kill her. Maybe you're correct.
I don't know. I
I see
mean,
how you're saying he could, like, he's done it. He's killed her. She's dead. Now he lets her go. And okay, I see what you're saying.
but I mean, it could be that as well. Maybe he like lets her go, and just because
Ambiguity.
it's abuse, he's gonna keep going back and doing that or something. I don't know. But I guess not if he kills himself. So I don't know. But anyways, like that relationship and everything is over now, and he was basically so obsessed with her that he couldn't live without her, and that's why he kills himself or whatever, or kills both of them. And basically, he would do anything for her, even die for her, and look, he did it. So it's the usual sort of like relationship issues that we get with him a little bit. He doesn't have like the best easygoing relationship, it seems. Or his main one with Kim, I think it was like the main catalyst for a lot of things. But it's not a bad song, so I give this a 4.3 on 5.
I just realized there's a music video, and I know I saw it as a younger person, but I completely forgot to watch this one. I did watch the Not Afraid video, and I wanted to comment that it's kind of fucking hilarious when he jumps off the building and then gains superpowers, starts flying, and smashes up all the windows like he'd seen Iron Man and said, I want to fly. And he's fucking Eminem, so he can.
Yeah.
And so he did. And it's so corny but awesome at the same time because he's not afraid to be corny. But I don't really remember the Spacebound video, so let us know what you thought of it since, well, we didn't talk about it.
Yep.
Anything else on this one?
No,
Did you ever watch that movie Cinderella Man?
I did not.
So Russell Crowe and Renee Zellweger perform together in this boxing movie.
It's Renee Zellweger?
Yeah, I looked at the cover.
Hmm.
But I did not see Cinderella Man, the movie. And when I was a youth, I was not the biggest fan of Cinderella Man, the song. How do you feel about this one?
I mean, I like the beat. It's, it kind of comes in. It's more hyped up than the last couple of songs. And it seems like to be like a good song for like stomping to, or like, doing something like repetitive like that. Something loud, and has made like a couple of references to like his last album that maybe wasn't so great. Has gone through things. He talks about that he wasn't doing great back then, but he's back and he's ready to be the best that he can be, and he has to be the best, and this is sort of his reality, and realizes that he came close to death. And is thankful that he's still here, that he's still present, and he's not going to waste that second chance. Basically, he's going to impress you. He's going to impress us. And he talks about he mentions proof near the end as well. So again, like the same sort of thing, like he's shouting out his buddy, that passed away and everything. So. For me, like the beat was the best part of like this whole song, and then again, like the message is, he struggled, but he's back and he's stronger than ever, and he's going to continue, and he's going to be there for us. So I give this a 4.35 on 5.
So, like, I mean, in the movie Cinderella Man, Russell Crowe's a boxer who does a comeback. So Eminem clearly likes that kind of a comeback story, and it's
Like an underdog kind of story or two.
This also features the infamous Kobe, the same Kobe from the other song. Here's the thing about this track. I think it's really well made, and I respect the rap, and I think the production's pretty good and all of that, but I fucking can't get into it. Like, I had so much trouble. Like, I don't like the hook that much, or like the Cinderella Man, Cinderella, okay, whatever. Or even like the who can catch lightning in a bottle, set fire to water, and it's like, fine. Coming out the nozzle on the firehouse, flyer and swatters. Cinderella Man, Cinderella Man, Cinderella Man, Cinderella Man. Oh, fuck, shut up. And then the beat's really weird. Like, I feel like this is a love or hate it beat. You either really love it, and it's a hard beat, and it's very impressive the way that he hit this beat. and it's cool. And then he's got like this good flow to it. Like there's a storm coming that the weatherman couldn't predict. I start to bug prick. You better flee because I get ticked. It's a wrap. I was down when I was down. I was kicked. I get up. I'm back to punch you to the ground. You trick. It's a trap. Fuck my last CD. The shit's in my trash. I'll be goddamn if another rapper gets in my ass. And I'm like, okay. So evidently this is just kind of like the past is there. I'm fucking coming in. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to take over. Other rappers aren't competing at my level. And I think you're right. This is like after going through its little turbulent love relationship with hip hop that we just went through, right?
Yep.
We have Eminem almost being like the champion, returning to the ring, ready to go, you know? And that's what we're getting here. Like, I'm destroying your livelihood. I ain't just hurting your rep. I catch a flow and get going. No remorse, I'm showing. Ain't slowing for no one. Knowing there's nothing you can do about it. Zero in on the target like a marksman. The target is you. It's very clear. It's not like even like the crazy. I don't actually think it's like the craziest amount of bars and shit. I think it's just this straightforward fucking slot. Like, don't get me wrong. I shut your lane down, took your spot, parked in it too. You know, like I shut down the way you rap, your mumble shit, whatever. Now I took your spot as the best and I parked in it because it's like a car. Like, it's cool, but it's very straightforward. And then I just really, like, I really can't get into it. So it's not like I have bars that just popped into my head. I mean, the only thing that really, like, I remember is, we'll make no more mistakes, shit, my potatoes baked, homie. The veggies on my plate can fly. My fillet is smoking weed. Yeah, faggot, the stakes are high. I'm like, okay, it's all right. It's just, I don't know. I feel like I just don't have a lot that I like in this song, and I'm certain that it's actually really good in terms of all the same level of quality puns. Like, I'm his spitting image. I mirror it when I stand near it. Your pussy lyric, I cunt hear it. Get it? Because cunt and pussy. But it's like, I'm also not, like, into it like I was with the other ones. And I feel like if the beat doesn't catch with you, do you really want to take the time in to hear about all the good stuff? And I know I'm a reviewer and all that shit, and so I'm saying that, I don't know, like, it's a 4.35 to me, which to me isn't as great of a mark, because objectively speaking, I recognize all the quality points of the production, of the way he hits it, and I realize that the things I don't like about it are stylistic, not because they're actually bad. And I can see how this might, like, really be a fun, encouraging, like, go to the gym, you know, pump yourself up track or whatever.
Guess.
I don't know about the gym, but like a pump yourself up and go fight, keep on pushing song, but it just doesn't hit like that for me. So whatever. It's like a good song I can't get into.
That's fair.
Which is definitely not how I feel about the next track.
25 to life.
Hells yeah. I feel like this is the third time I'm saying this on this review, but somehow 25 to Life has also had a pretty hefty life play through in my last decade.
Oh, yeah?
But less so than the other ones. But, like, 25 to Life is one of the first songs I plussed when I got Spotify, because, like, I really like it. I think the hook is beautiful. There's something to it, like, just too late for the other side, caught in a chase, 25 to Life, and she just repeats it, and it's nice, right? Like, it just gives you the sense that you can't stop. You're committed to this. It's almost like the crime is done, and you're stuck, 25 to Life. And if you think about it, at this point, Eminem starts rapping in, like, the 80s. I mean, starts rapping as a teen and shit, and right? I mean, I believe there's recordings as late as, like, you know, the late 80s, so this might be, like, 25 years into the game for him.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true,
On
eh?
top of that 25 to Life, it implies this is it. You're not getting out. You're not whatever. It's just your chase. It's just you're stuck with it. And so if we go back to the story, right? So Cinderella Man kind of makes sense. After your turbulent relationship shit, you pick yourself up, you bounce back. And so we can look at Seduction, No Love, Spacebound as kind of like the part of his career that was literally just the release of Relapse and how people treated it. Like Seduction, it's weird. I'm trying to come at you with this new thing. Doesn't work. No Love, it's not fun. The industry turned its back on you. Spacebound is turbulent. Cinderella Man fighting back. 25 to Life is this like intense track where he comes in and it's almost like his commitment to the game, and he's almost tired of motherfuckers questioning shit about it, right? And man, I also think it's a little bit about Kim and a little bit explaining why they're not together, right? Because they aren't necessarily together, but it it kind of just starts off like, I don't think she understands the sacrifices that is made. Maybe if this bitch had acted right, I would have stayed, but if I already wasted over half my life, I would have laid down and died for you. I no longer cry for you. No more pain, bitch. You, I like, you think about that. I really believe this is about Kim, but it's also about hip hop, right? At the exact same time, those lyrics apply to both those things. Bitch, you took me for granted, took my heart and ran it straight into the planet, into the dirt. I can no longer stand it. Now my respect, I demand it. I'm gonna take control of this relationship, command it. And then the beat's picking up in the background, and I'm gonna be the boss of you, not God. And what I mean is that you, and I can feel the beat, is that you no longer let you control me. And you just feel like he's just gained assertiveness in this shit. And in a sense, he feels Kim was emotionally abusive. He feels hip hop was emotionally abusive. And he's kind of fucking standing up. And he's like, he gave up my life for you. I was devoted for you. This is how I get repaid. All the fucking things. Look at how I dress, whatever. I'm always rushing home, rushing here, rushing back to hip hop. I don't even get to be around my kids practically.
Yep.
It's like I can't do anything else. I can't be anything else. And then one of the coolest lines, but you keep treating me like a staircase. It's time to fucking step. I don't know why, but it's just so basic, but still so like fuck you at the same time. And I think it really hits proper.
Yeah.
It's the fucking right before step. I think it's just gorgeous. Like the flow is complex and fast and hits it up. He just carries you through these long verses, but like you just feel like he's pouring it out. And you neglected me, did me a favor, through my spirit free you've set, but a special place for you in my heart I have kept. It's unfortunate, but it's, and then if you really think about it, he's not being mean, he's not being misogynistic at Kim, but I think this is kind of the track that's like, it's over in a sense, it's kind of moving along or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then also,
But she's always going to, I think he says, why it's 25 to life, because, she's always going to be a part of his life just because of, his child.
But even his love for her is always going to be there.
Yeah.
But then if we think about hip-hop, it's almost like, I'm done trying to win your respect. Fuck you. You're going to give me my respect because I deserve it. And after all of this, it's unfortunate that you guys feel like this, so we're caught in this. But then I think when it comes to hip-hop, he's trapped in it. And it is kind of 25 to life. And then that second verse, man. I feel like when I bend over backwards for you, all you do is laugh, because that ain't good enough. You expect me to fold myself in half till I snap. And that's kind of how people treat Eminem to this day. Like, there is a part where the whole world expects so much out of that guy, where he writes Walks on Water, and we all laugh at him. And it's just kind of like, yeah, that's kind of a weird move on everybody's part. Literally a song about how he's so scared of fucking failing to meet up to our expectations, and we trash him for it.
Yep.
That's us, I guess. Don't think I'm loyal. All I do is rap. How can I moonlight on this site? I have no life outside of that. Don't I give you enough of my time? You don't think so, do you? Jealous when I spend time with the girls. Why I'm married to you still? And it's like that line that was so weird to me until I realized it's about hip-hop, because when I was young and denser, I didn't. And then it's like, it's true. Like, we don't even want to let Eminem be a father or go be with his kids. We're just so jealous that, like, he's not devoting it all to us, his fans, you know?
Yeah.
But tonight I'm serving you our papers. I'm divorcing you. Go marry someone else and make him famous. So it's like, yo, go latch on to somebody else. Let them be your fucking puppet. And I think this is, again, in a lot of sense, I think this whole album's to critics, too. Like, specifically, there's an underlying theme of hip-hop critics, journalists and stuff, and he's like, fuck y'all, because he was their darling, and he did all these interviews, and if you look at, like, the 2000 beginnings of it, like, he was everywhere, and everybody loved him, and it was so fun. And now it's like, oh, so now, like, and maybe it's also the fans, I don't know exactly who, but
I think it's just fame in general.
Yeah.
I think it's just all of it.
And so he's like, I'm done. And then you can go make somebody else there. Take away their freedom like you did to me. Treat them like you don't need them and they ain't worthy of you. Feed them the same shit that you made me eat. I'm moving on. Forget you. Oh, now I'm special. I don't feel special when I was with you. And it's like, it's crazy how he takes on almost the role of like like what you would picture to be like a battered woman in a relationship leaving, and just what she would say back to. It's almost like the words he's heard women say to him, and he's regurgitating it back to hip hop. And All I ever felt was this helplessness, imprisoned by a selfish bitch. Chew me up and spit me out. I fell for this so many times it's ridiculous, and still I stick with this. I'm sick of this, but in my sickness and addiction, you're addictive as they get, evil as they come, vindictive as they make them. So I guess fame is a better way to do it. Yeah, fame I like. That's a cooler way to think what he's talking about. And it's just powerful, you know? And then friends ask him why he can't leave because he's addicted to it all, and it's just part of his life. But then he gets to the end. But when you spoke of people who meant the most to you, you left me off your list. Fuck you, hip hop. I'm leaving you. My life sentence is served, bitch. And basically, this could be like in reference apparently to some of the top rapper list that was coming out, and they stopped listing Eminem. So at that point, it's like, how? Like, just because dude hasn't dropped an album in a bit, it's like, how you gonna cut him off the list or whatever,
Yep.
right? So I get where he's coming from, and then it just kind of ends, and you're left with this like really powerful song that is super reminiscent of that Common song, "I Used to Love Her."
Yep.
I definitely think Eminem was inspired by Common on this track. That's my thoughts, because I'm pretty sure Eminem would have heard that album back at one point or another. But I really love this song. I don't know if it's as good as I think it is, but I believe this is one of the best tracks on this album, and I give it a 5. I think it's really fantastic, really well put together, really honest, and also like the kind of song that I think every fan needs to really stop and think about when they expect things from the people they're fans of.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
even if you buy the album, even if you go to the show, like, they're still humans. And I often think, if you especially look at all the cases of celebrities who get pushed too far, or look at Britney. You know, look at the fact that Britney's fans created a whole fucking conspiracy this year about her just because XYZ reason. Fuck the fans, you know? Like,
Yeah.
and
Leave
mean,
Britney alone.
fans of this show are awesome, though, but like, if you guys get weird and fanatical, and don't be super shocked if I ignore you if you stalk me. Like, I'm not trying to be like rude or whatever. I mean, I appreciate support and I love everybody that leaves comments and stuff, but like, go find me a YouTuber that popped, we'll say, that doesn't have a story of some motherfucker stalking their house and shit too. Right, there's some scary stuff out there that kind of comes along with fame and whatnot, and there is a part of me that is super okay with this taking as long as it's taking, and maybe I hold myself back a bit because I'm afraid of what comes with the fame. I mean, every one of my heroes was brutalized by the public to a point where they're maybe shells of who they used to be. So it makes me wonder, like, I guess, like, is it worth fame? Is any of it really worth it?
Yep.
At the end of the day, is there a middle ground that is better than fame that you still sustainably create or something? Like, I don't know. So it sounds like this have often really stuck with me for reasons like that. Anyway, 5 on 5.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'll just sort of quickly sum it up a bit.
You can take your time.
Well, I mean, I feel like you went through most of it. You know, he's dedicated to her, whoever her is, but she hasn't been good to him, has been abusive, you know, same sort of thing. Dealing with the realities of fame, like I said, I think that's just what this is. And I think that he felt like crap, like he felt, you know, what he was doing was, you know, because of the music, because of everything that he dedicated himself, he didn't feel very good. And, you know, he's kind of saying, like, I can't just walk away from this. Like, this is something that he's dedicated, you know, 25 to life to, you know, it's either going to be a forever thing or, you know, it's going to at least be 25 years. Because I think that's where he was at. And as good as hip hop is, it has caused him a lot of hurt and a lot of frustration, just because of like the way that he gets treated by everybody, you know, by fans, by, you know, maybe the producers, by, you know, like the, you know, management people, you know, and maybe his friends, you know, his family, everybody has, you know, changed the way that they treated him. Although listening to like his first album, I can't really say that he was living with like wonderfulness to start with. But I feel like it is interesting how he kind of makes it like vague, and I feel like until like the end, and then he kind of makes it hip hop. Like, so you kind of understand that that's kind of what it is. And I don't know. I get it. I understand what he, was going through, and I think that this is what a lot of people go through, if not all people who are famous go through struggles because of the fame that they have. So I give this a 4.25 on 5.
Everyone is entitled to give the grades that they would like to give. Is something I should be saying, although I don't agree with your 4.25.
Do you think that they're so bad?
No. We're gonna have to stop here.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying now. So here's the thing. There are still 7 more songs for us to go through because we decided to go through the 2 bonus tracks that are coming up. I believe that, all things considered, the 2 bonus tracks may not get as much attention, and just a little assumption, as the other ones, and just because of quality, we'll say. But we're gonna go through the rest of the tracks in part 3. I don't know.
3-parter.
It's just kind of what it is. And yeah, I just think it's the best way to do it, so that any one of these reviews isn't gonna get like too big, because there was almost no way to do this in a way that wouldn't result in like 2-hour videos, which they don't seem to do as well as when we keep it to like 90 minutes or less. So, well, the time is what we're trying to play with and see if it works.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think about the multiple part format, if you have a preference or anything like that. So far, literally nobody has commented on having a preference, but Lindell commented. He said, I'll watch regardless. So it was good, but not helpful in that regard. But let us know in the comments what you think about any of this. Thank you for watching this, for real. It means the world to us. We'll get back to you with part 3 as soon as possible.
Yep. Let me know if you like my hair.
Yeah, it's new. You can check other videos to compare against. See what I'm saying? Click on other stuff.
Yeah.
But let us know what you think, for real. Your feedback helps shape the show and make it better, so feedback helps. Feel free to hit that like button if you liked it. Hit that dislike button if you didn't. And subscribe to the channel for part 3. More reviews, all sorts of good stuff. Special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Gadamsi, Chris Prado, Jonathan Barnes, DJ Black Hurricane, Linda Williams, and Coney Spires. They're dope. They support what we do, helped us get a new camera, helped us distribute the podcast to more places. So now it's going to be on Spotify and iTunes and Apple and all the other places that people podcast. There's lots of them, so we're there now. Not everything yet, but it's migrating, which means holla at us up on the social medias, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook, so that if you do prefer to watch us on a thing that's not the platform that's YouTube, you can find out when the new stuff drops, because we're going to post it there, and then you'll just like kind of know it's on everything. So links to all the everything's in the description.
Yep.
And yeah, the patrons get to tell us what albums to review too. So like next week it's gonna be a Linda Williams request, and they're gonna help pay for our website. So like all these things really are gonna help us a lot, and it means the world that like people support us like that. It's real OG is all I'm trying to say. I also dropped an album last week. I make the rap music myself, so you can check that out and let me know what you think about it. It's called The Alternative Grind, and I like it, so maybe you do too.
So yeah, it's not too bad if I do say so.
Anyway, thank y'all again. So before we depart, live long and prosper.
Bye, guys.